Yeah, good day, everybody.
People,
How are you guys doing?
Fine.
Okay, and you guys out there, I hope you guys are doing very well. I wish you all the best. And this is a brand new month, and we are here again with a brand new episode of Gospel Gist. So today we have some beautiful people here. I'm going to start with my co-host. They're going to tell us their names before we now go to our guests that are here. We have some important guests in the house today. So I'm going to start with this beautiful lady here.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth J, aka the most gentle girl in the world. You know now, that's how we roll. You're welcome to today's episode. You're welcome.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Vic Bernard, aka Pastor Vic. You're welcome to Gospel Gist.
Yeah, and I'm Marvelous Bernard. Yeah, you're welcome once again.
Yeah. Okay. Before I introduce our guests, let me tell you guys my name. They call me Mr. Bassi, a nobody, a son of a nobody who has a godfather, which is God the Father. Okay. So I'm going to introduce our guests, but I'm not going to use my own mouth to introduce them. They are going to use their mouth to also chew their onion by themselves. So over to you, Ma.
Hi, my name is Omolola Adekunle.
Okay, sir.
Okay, hi. My name is David Olowoniwa.
Okay, you didn't add your title.
Okay. But that's my name.
Okay, we need the title, sir.
I'm a lawyer, practicing lawyer.
Wow, you're welcome, sir.
I'm also a legal practitioner. Yeah. But he's my senior, you know. He's a notary public, so.
Yeah, glad to have you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Thank you.
So they don't want to really go deeply, and because I know that someone like Madam Lola, she has an orphanage home, and she's into a lot of things. She's into a lot of things, missionary and the rest. So she's really endowed. So today we are going to really discuss. We are going to discuss about law and Christianity. You know, a lot of people are finding it difficult to choose law in Christendom because of probably some people think that lawyers are liars.
No, are they not? Actually, no, but you can't conclude. It's a profession.
No, that's why I say some people think
There are people that are attached to profession.
That's how people believe.
so people think that lawyers, they tend to lie a lot so that they can defend their clients, and then they tend to do a lot of things, defend some people that are not supposed to be defended. I'm going to ask some series of questions, and our senior lawyers here are going to give us the answer. And I know that you guys out there, you will learn one or two, and at the end of the day, you have a right thinking about lawyers and the rest. So to continue, I want to ask one important question. Now, our young lawyers that are coming up, let me use the people that are intending to become lawyers.
Nice.
Some of them have this mindset that should I become a lawyer because of the situation of Nigeria as a whole? There's this thing about Nigeria whereby they don't allow you to excel, especially in Christendom, because you have to compromise in some aspect. So I'm going to ask, can you advise a Christian, like a rooted Christian, to become a lawyer? Ma.
Okay, so I will direct the question to my senior.
Okay. So the question has been rigged to me, right? That's it.
Because in Yoruba land, when you serve food, it's the elder that picks first. So,
No,
yeah.
but sometimes these elders can give consideration.
No.
Yes,
No,
because
but you have a point, sir.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
okay, so before answering your question on whether I would advise a Christian who is rooted
Yeah.
in the things of God to read law. First, I think it's proper for me to address the first
Narrative.
question,
Yeah.
whether lawyers
I like
are
it.
liars. Now, you see that statement from pronouncement is flawed. When you say lawyers, it's against the rule of logic to say lawyers are liars.
Okay.
Now, not all lawyers are liars. And do you know that there are, I dare say that lawyers are not liars. You understand?
Okay.
Lawyers are not liars.
Okay.
Yes, we don't even lie. What we do is we apply the law, and then in court we speak what we call legal truth.
Yeah.
Now you may now begin to say, oh, what is legal truth as against truth? When I say legal truth, it is truth in its real sense, in reality.
It's backed by the Constitution.
Yes. So, but you see, the lawyer applies law to the fact supplied to him. If you come to me and say, oh, defend me, the state is about to prosecute me, or my neighbor is about to take me to court, what did you do? Now, there are three sets of people who say, do not lie to me. Your lawyer, your doctor, and your pastor. So when you tell me in detail what you have done, what I will now need to do is to apply the law to the fact you have supplied, and then I go to court. Yes. Let me just quickly give you an example, then I'll go to our question. Is where you have someone who steals or commits capital offense, kills. And then you say, no, he's supposed to die now. He stole. But there's an aspect of the Constitution that says you are innocent until you are proven guilty. So everyone is innocent until you are able to prove the guilt. And there is this burden on whoever is prosecuting to prove that guilt. So if you cannot prove it, then that is where you see the judges rules and allow somebody to go home, because those ingredients to condemn that person as a criminal was not proved. But if successfully proved, then he will go for the punishment. I have
issue with that, sir.
we have a recent case
Oh, really?
that is everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, sir. I just want to say something based on what you just said now. So I just want to ask a question from the answer you just gave. Okay, I wanted to ask that. Does it mean that there is a room or like a second chance for an offender or a criminal in the law of the country?
It is not even a second chance.
Okay.
It is what the law says. The law says the constitution of the land, we call it the ground norm, the constitution, 1999 constitution, as amended, is the law of the land, and we have to follow it. Now the law says you are presumed innocent until now. If you arrest a criminal, you take that criminal, that an accused person, not a criminal. It is only when or suspects. You use the word accused. In fact, these days in the court, they encourage us not to use accused or use defendant. So it is when the whole case is being presented, the judge rules, gives a judgment, then the person is now becomes convicted. So after conviction, you say so. But accused, someone who is accused of a crime, is still innocent until you have presented those evidence that will condemn that accused person. And then when the judges now say, oh, I haven't seen this place before me, I hereby, that's when you become someone who has been convicted. So the law says we have to follow the letters of the law. I think this.
To add to what you just said, I think we've seen an issue recently about Osinachi's husband, late Osinachi's husband,
Yeah.
Yes.
that has been convicted now. After the whole incident that he killed the wife and everything, maybe he wasn't. They didn't convict him. It took him like 2 years now
Yes.
before they now convict him and sentence him to death.
Yes.
So that means he was not um guilty yet.
Yes,
So
so
they're now proving him
Because of the process of
Yeah.
investigation.
Yes, luckily for the Nwachukwu case,
Yeah.
on the day the judgment was being delivered, I was in that court.
Wow.
So I can speak authoritatively on that. I was present in the court when the judgment was being delivered.
Okay.
Now, Osinachi's husband, Mr. Peter Nwachukwu,
Yeah.
as at the period when the case was going on, he's presumed innocent. So the state is prosecuting him. His lawyers will have to now defend him. If you listened, we who followed the judgment, we saw at the point where the doctor was saying the woman had cancer somewhere on the throat. Then there's a bag that contains water around her, the kidney or the heart. Also. And then the doctor did not. The doctor said that was the cause of her death.
Yeah.
Now, even in the judgment of the court, we could not see how Mr. Peter stabbed him
Yeah.
from the pushing, the hitting on the chest, how he made her die. What made up the judgment was the circumstantial evidence surrounding it. Oh, that at some point the children gave evidence that while we were going to church, daddy pushed mommy out of the car. The judge said this is capable of causing death. Then at some point, the man, dealt a heavy blow on her chest, and then she started,
There was even a
and
video I saw online of him using like an iron,
Yes.
pressing iron to hit her on the chest.
And
something
so
like
there
that.
were so many testimonies of even neighbors jumping into the compound to open the gates for her to come in whenever she's locked out.
Wow.
And then the another situation where they wanted to plait the daughter's hair, and then they have to hide in the toilet. So, if my husband come and see you, it's going to be a problem.
That's
And
terrible.
all of that. So all of those things are just you giving your testimonies, evidence,
Witnesses.
and all of those. So at the end of the whole thing, these are what
They got that.
the judge will gather and then link it to what has happened and then pass their judgment. Even though the judgment, the final judgment of the High Court is that he's guilty of culpable homicide, is to die by hanging until life goes out of him. It can still be challenged.
Yeah. I was
So
told
that
that
he went
there's
for
even an appeal.
Yeah.
So
we have appeal,
that yeah.
and then
So does it mean that there is probability that he actually didn't kill her?
we cannot say.
Okay,
What
so
the law,
okay,
what
when
the-
you're done.
yes. So what the law says is that there are possibility of his actions causing
Resulting
resulting to the death of the
Okay.
woman. That if he has dealt blow on her chest and she started feeling pain, and then she
Maybe
started complaining,
attack or
take me to
something.
the hospital, and he says no money and he needs
Negligence.
her to
Yeah,
have faith
negligence.
and all of that. So those are
So let
what
me
we're put
buttress on
together.
my senior counsel's point because he has. I mean, you were even there, sir. So people that don't know, he was also like a mentor to me when I was working with the chamber. Before I owned my own chamber as well. So he's a very humble man. He allows you to learn and all
We're
that.
glad to have you,
So
sir.
yeah. So just to buttress on his point on the parts that what's it called? So there's something they call in law, like if you give somebody blue now, you bring out a knife. There's already an intention, and that intention is called mens and actus reus. So before the judge decides who is capable of murder, or who should be sentenced to death or life imprisonment, there are elements that they look at. They look at the mens rea and the actus reus. So the mens rea is the intention. Now, a guy comes and drugs me, and the drug maybe makes me sleep, and somebody catches him. Maybe he had already bought condom and all. So in that instance, if we picture it and paint it to cut, maybe someone cut him. The intention, the measure must be established, even though the actor's race was not yet present. The measure is that he had intention to rape.
Yes.
That's the measure. So in law, there are elements that you must, you must state out and claim that, okay, this person, he attempted to rape. Attempted to rape also has its years in the constitution, in the criminal this thing. So attempted to rape, if it's 7 years, for instance, and rape itself is 21 years, is it 21 now, 27? You understand? So definitely the person will be charged if the person has a good lawyer and can claim, oh, the drug was just for her to, because all these things will be proven by the laboratory that would have tested that, okay, this drug is meant to sedate this girl to sleep, and then I saw condom, and then the eyewitness as well, because there must be corroboration. You saw, the corroboration also has its section under the 99 Constitution. So these are called circumstantial evidences. If they bring it together, like I actually saw this person, yes, he carry knife, yes, so not true, me self I carry, you understand, and it's not that they plan, because corroboration can be malicious. It's that's why they said malicious prosecution is not. So they will look at, okay, this one is Awusa, he's just a bricklayer, this one lives in the house, this one, so the judges too, they are very intentional to, because before a corroboration statement can be allowed, or a circumstantial evidences, they must have seen how genuine it is, the intention, So lawyers are also kind of psychological, and the judges as well, they listen. So they are trained to also know, okay, this person is lying or not. So that kind of measure. Now, let's say the guy who wanted to attempt to rape the girl, he now goes further, nobody caught him, and now rapes this girl.
Okay.
That is now the measure, and the actor's race has been involved. So now, if Osinachi's husband did not even have the intention of killing her, but you had the intention of committing a grievous bodily harm. In law, the nature of grievous bodily harm, harming somebody, even if the person dies like 6 months after, you can be carried. That is why we advise people, watch your temper. If couples, for instance, if you have this heat, there's a thing they call heat of the moment. You understand? You just want to fight, just go out, instead of pouring the heat of the moment. Because, okay, let's say for instance you catch your wife on somebody having intercourse. Some people say, oh, the person will not be at fault. Yes, you will be at fault, but you will be charged for manslaughter instead of murder. Now we look at the intention. Intention is always what we look at in law. Measure and actor's race. So now the judge who wants to listen to the matter will be like, okay, so why did you kill her? I just entered and I saw my wife. My wife was sleeping with this young boy because I can't have sex again with her, and all that. Now, did you perform that? What's it called? Did you perform the murder immediately? Because they want to know, you've not had a time to cool off. Exactly. So maybe you just carry something and eat the woman, and from there the woman now died. Now that is called manslaughter, because the man did not plan to kill. It was just in the heat of the moment. But that manslaughter too is life imprisonment. Even though you will not die by hanging, but it's still life imprisonment.
Another name.
Exactly. It's just called manslaughter. And aside that,
that one is because you have time in the prison.
Exactly.
The other one they can
No, that's and funny enough, manslaughter sometimes can get maybe 10 years. It depends on the judge. It can be overturned, and you can even get pardon. So that's we are linking Christianity to law, because there's also governmental pardon. Our SEN Femi Falana, he has granted, he has gotten a lot of pardon for some criminals. You understand? Because when they look at the cases, this guy no mean and maybe he's even a pastor, he's a Christian, exactly, and then that act just happened. So the intention is always looked at. But imagine that maybe the man who saw the wife, this is where I'm going to drop my point, so you my senior can go ahead. What's the code? Let's say the man saw his wife, and then he kept quiet and said, hey, so you are cheating on me. He will now carry the camera and start posting on social media. My wife was having sex with this and that. Do you know that is slander? That is
Serious?
defamation of character.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Whoa.
Abi sir.
Yes,
That's slander.
Serious?
Okay, sir. For me to finish this point, that's slander. Even though she's your wife, yeah. So you can be sued.
So even though
that,
even
yes.
though she did something wrong,
Yes,
you can
yes,
sue.
yes. You can take her to court and divorce her. That's okay. But you don't post it, because I see a lot of, oh, my wife cheated on me. Then they now post it,
Yeah,
and her
that
nakedness
happened,
and all that. So now let's say he now planned, he now waited. You saw her in the morning having sexual intercourse with this young guy. Then you now come back in the night and now plan in the middle of the night, carry knife and start stabbing her.
Okay.
That now there is an intention
There's an
to
intention.
I
kill.
think this happened. I saw it.
So that would be first degree
It
murder.
happened to a
I'm
lady.
sure that you guys have been hearing first degree murder,
Yeah.
second degree murder. So this is how they weigh it. Yeah. Or maybe like somebody who you stabbed. Okay, let's say you even eat the wife. How many times did you eat her? Did you eat her 20 or 50 times? That means you had intention. That one is not anger again. Let's say you eat somebody twice, and then you should be able to, like, oh my
Come
God,
back to your
yeah, what did I
consciousness.
do? Exactly. So those are the things. These are the ways that judges look at it: first degree murder, manslaughter, second degree murder, culpable homicide, and all that.
So that means if we want to even look at law, we can say God is the first lawyer.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, God looks at intention.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Jesus was speaking about that woman that wanted to pay her offering, and then she brought all that she had.
All that she had.
And then he said that
Widow's
she
mite.
paid more than
Yeah.
All
every
that,
other person.
yes.
Why? Because the intention
He
she
looked
had
at
in
the
her heart.
intention.
You know?
Yeah.
Some people will give so much,
Yes.
but they don't have the
It's just to
intention.
show off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to show
In
off.
fact, you know, Jesus Christ, when the disciples were asking him, why will you say this woman who gave just two cents?
Yeah.
He said,
Widow's mite. Yeah.
these ones gave out of the abundance they have. But this woman brought all. This is
she
all
has.
she had in her house. These two cents that she has. That's all she brought. That's the intention you just spoke about. But the others brought out of much. So they still have, they have something to fall back on. This one doesn't
Had
have
nothing.
anything. And she did that because sometimes a day is coming, I will not see you, my Lord. That relates to the woman who also spent expensive perfume oil on him. And he said, he told them there, in fact, that was where he made the statement clear. You have me with you now. It's not good for you to do all of this for me. Because the time is coming.
Yeah.
You will not see me. These women are wonderful. They were the one who went to the grave too.
And then I have a question, sir, from
Yeah.
when you were speaking the first time. You spoke about somebody coming to meet the lawyer and stating his fact, and then the lawyer can now, defend. So what if a person comes and lies to the lawyer, and then the lawyer defends the person and wins the case at the end of the day, and then gets to know after everything that, this man actually lied to me?
Okay, so you see, I'm happy now. I'm happy that your question just answered who is a liar.
Exactly.
The lawyer is not the liar.
The client.
You came and I said, tell me. And if you remember, and it's a general statement that is made out there, you don't tell three people this, you shouldn't lie to.
Yeah.
So if you lie to me now, I take what you have told me as
a truth.
fact.
Yeah.
Your story.
Yeah.
So there are instances, I've been asked this question several times. If you see someone, in fact, family members, they are worried about my going to hell. Be like, if someone comes to you now and I say, hello. If I ask you and you tell me, and you tell me that I have done this, you see, you can plead for a lesser punishment. There is at that stage, it's called allocutus in law, where after the judge reads his judgment, before sentencing, the judge now asks you, the defendant, whom we call accused person or the lawyer, what do you have to say? So that moment, you are allowed to show remorse. You are allowed to now say, this is my first time offending the state, and I have family. Assuming a man now, I am the breadwinner. So that helps to mitigate whatever punishment. Ordinarily, if the punishment is 10 years, the judge will look at those factors and then reduce it to say 5 years, 7 years, and then But if you sin and you don't want to be punished, you want to get away, who will go to hell?
Exactly.
You that lied to the lawyer, or the lawyer that addressed your matter based on the facts you supplied.
But even in Nollywood movie, you know, we watch a lot of Nollywood movies. They show to us that there are some lawyers that are even aware that these people
Yeah,
have
and
done
they
wrong,
still
and
do
yet
it.
they just
just tell the person,
no,
don't worry, I will defend
hold
you.
on, hold on.
No, my
It is
wife-
normal for
Probably because they
lawyers
want to
to
collect
defend.
money.
Okay, it is their job, all right. But in this case, you know that this person has done wrong, and you just look for a way, just
Maybe he's your friend.
funny
and you
way,
don't want
and
him-
just try
you know
to
that
like.
Yes.
There are lawyers that do
Yes,
that
although
actually.
you see, Nollywood movies sometimes
It's fiction.
fiction,
Yeah.
they are not
Of
reality.
course, yes.
Yes, but they try to portray what happens
In
the
reality,
real sense.
yes.
Now I think I should.
I mean, somebody should hold me. Somebody should hold me.
The money will come for you now.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe I think this is your question now. I should use it to address the very first question.
Yes,
Whether
please.
true,
Okay.
a Christian to advise a Christian to go read law.
Yes.
Yes, so I will advise you to go read law. I am such example. I didn't get to read law early. Immediately after my secondary school, I was trying to read law. I insisted on law, so I had to stay 5 years before getting that admission because I wanted law. So ordinarily I would have gone for other social, administrative, other course and just graduate and go. But I wanted this. In fact, influence from the church came. Your son. This is
Especially when you are in an Orthodox church.
yes. Now my dad being a leader in the church, an overseer, and then he had to say, leave him. That is his choice. That is what he has chosen. So at the end of the day, I got to read law. Luckily, where I did my chamber attachment, the man is a Jehovah Witness man. So you see, begin to
No, he's already showing us that there's no problem as a Christian to be a
so
lawyer.
there is no problem as a Christian to be a lawyer. In fact, the advantage outweighs the disadvantage.
Yes.
If today you seek fairness and you seek justice, and you are not in the place or in the position to speak fairness, to speak that justice,
It's just
that is why you have what you have in power today. All sorts going on. Unfortunately, so sad. Before now, the churches will say, no, politics. I know we are speaking on law. Politics is a dirty game. Oh, don't do this. It's dirty. Don't go there. This. And that is why we have those we have in power. And there's a portion of the scripture that talks about when you have the righteous, when the righteous,
the people rejoice.
the people rejoice. So, but when you have the unrighteous ruling, hello, what are we having today?
People will know what they are doing now.
Okay, so let me just add 1 or 2 points to what you said to my Oga's thoughts. You said should a Christian read law? So I would advise any Christian out there, don't be discouraged because lawyers are not liars. And there was just like you said, I think there was a judge that came to law school, and then the judge said something, and I held it. He said, "Don't just be a lawyer, be a Christian lawyer." Now we have a lot of Christians that go to church. But are you truly a Christian? Are you truly born again? You know, because we have some Christians who will say, "Oh, you can be a Christian and still be kissing your girlfriend in a relationship." Is that right? You still have sex in your relationship while you're supposed to make the bed undefiled till you're married. So that's the kind of lawyers that we have as well. We have lawyers, of course, who are very good and just for the money and all that. And we have lawyers that are for the people. Now we are for the people. Barrister David is also a pastor. I am a missionary. I've been to Tanzania, Ethiopia, London recently to preach the gospel. In fact, immediately I landed at the UK airport, I sat with a guy. I asked him, "Do you believe in Jesus?" The guy said no, that his parents are Muslim and Christian. He doesn't even, he just believes in being good. Now, that is not just being a lawyer, that's being a missionary. I held hands with him, I led him to Christ. We knelt down at Heathrow Airport and we prayed together. Now, God has opened a lot of doors for us as lawyers. As a Christian, you have to have a license to enter the prison gates. God sent you to prison gates. I've been to Calabar prisons, Kirby. We have been to Maiduguri recently. I said, God, when He was sending me to Maiduguri, I said, "Do you want me to go and die?"